What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming to you today with just a little bit of a ramble session. I'm going to talk about a few things going on with the channel, going on with some real life stuff towards the end of the video, but just wanted to go over a couple of things, which you're probably going to be seeing coming from me here in this next week or so regarding videos and whatnot. Of course, the big thing this week is we do have the Taken King Crucible preview event with Destiny, and I'm definitely going to be checking this out. Kind of interested to try out some of the new PvP modes that they are bringing in with the Taken King. Now, of course, I am not as of right now. I have no plans on actually purchasing the Taken King DLC, but I do want to check out these new modes. I've seen quite a bit of their gameplay on other channels and just in general. Most interested in Rift. Mayhem, I really don't have much interested at all because of it's just spamming supers and heavy weapons and all kinds of nonsense that I think already makes PvP and Destiny kind of annoying. But I'm going to try it out. I'll probably do one gameplay video for Rift, one gameplay video for Mayhem, and upload those for you guys. So if you aren't able to play or you're still interested in seeing what they are, you'll be able to see that. Now, of course, guys, you will be able to play this week, even if you did not pick up the Taken King. Patch 2.0 actually is going to go live on Tuesday. They said sometime in the morning Pacific time, or possibly on lunchtime. I'm guessing it's probably going to be that 11 a.m. PST like they usually do, and the 2 p.m. Eastern time if you're in the US. I'm guessing that's probably going to be about the time. It is an 18 gig patch if you're on next gen, so will be quite a download for that. So make sure you guys have your console set to the rest mode if you want to get this new patch 2.0. And with it, they're bringing in all kinds of changes. There's going to be a bunch of new stuff in the tower with the vendors and the kiosks and all kinds of things. Apparently, there's going to be some of the new quests available. The Year 1 stuff's all getting turned into quest content. And we're going to have a new ghost voice and some other stuff. So what my main plan this week is for that is I'm going to probably do a video Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and basically go in and take a look at all the new changes. And kind of just go in with some gameplay and show you guys the tower. Show the new kiosks and what the vendors have, if anything's changed. I know we're getting our marks converted to commendations and the factions, and apparently all that stuff's going through. Apparently they're going to have Arms Day tomorrow or Wednesday with Banshee 44 with his reputation system, so I'm going to be interested to see what that entails. My biggest interest really this week is because they're making all these changes to vendors and things in the tower, I wonder if we're actually going to be seeing some new gear in the tower, because I don't know why they would start Arms Day a week early and not give us access to new guns to test out for that, because it's going to be kind of interesting if that's old stuff, and then interesting to see if the Cryptarch is new, with his stuff, and just what those changes are going to be. So look for that probably Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, after I've had a few hours to kind of play around with the game at first. Now, for the larger things that I'm really interested in with this patch, first and foremost is going to be the PvP weapon balance. If you guys don't know, Patch 2.0 is making a ton of changes to weapons. They're nerfing a whole bunch of stuff. They're buffing some other things. Auto rifles are getting a big buff. Scout rifles are getting kind of a middle-of-the-road buff. Pulse rifles are getting nerfed a little bit. And hand cannons are getting nerfed big time. It's legendary hand cannons, especially Hawk Moon, Thorn, and Last Word are all getting major adjustments. So I'm going to be interested to see if this actually finally gives us a little bit of balance in the Crucible. They're also nerfing Blink, making some changes to shotgun range and some other things. And of course, we are going to be able to play the new Taken King Crucible maps this week, which I've already seen quite a bit of those, and they seem to be the same typical small, close quarters PvP maps that are going to just promote more shotgun play. So we're going to see how that actually works out. I'm very interested to see this week because, quite honestly, PvP is one of the last things that's really kept me in Destiny. Because I really did enjoy the Crucible when it first came out. It was a lot of fun to play during the beta, a lot of fun to play at first. The first few Iron Banners, everything was great. But these last 4 or 5 months have just been an absolute nightmare, and it's just a complete mess. It's just every time you go in there, everybody's using Thorn, everybody's using the Last Word, or final round snipers, Trials was just a mess because of all this stuff. Iron Banner's a mess with all this stuff. It's like you constantly run around getting your screen covered in green crap because you're getting shot with Thorn from everybody. So it's going to be interesting to see if it finally changes up a little bit. I've got 4 or 5 auto rifles in my vault ready to use that I've been hanging on to, so I'm really excited to get back in and see if auto rifles are going to take their spotting in at the top. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. I think there's going to be some really decent scout rifles as well. I think Mida Multi-Tool is going to be a great weapon in this new meta, but we'll see. I'm also a little skeptical because this is Bungie, and as they've shown for the first year of Destiny, they really have no idea how to balance guns for PvP. It's usually, let's find a gun that's really, really good, people are using a lot of, and let's nerf that into the floor, and at the same time, we'll take some crappy weapon and we're going to buff it to the ceiling and make it really good, and everybody's going to start using that gun. That's basically what happened with Thorn. It's very funny because Thorn was a terrible hand cannon when it first came out, when the game first released. Nobody used Thorn. It was just an awful weapon. Everybody pretty much agrees on that. And then instead of just balancing Thorn and making it, decent enough to where it's competitive, they just buffed Thorn through the ceiling and just made it this just PvP god weapon. And I know you can counter. I know good players will always be good with every weapon, but for 90% of the player base, it's just like Thorn makes you a better player just by equipping it. It makes you, capable of getting a better KD just by using that type of weapon, and that's usually what it means when a weapon is overpowered. The Vex Mythic class was like that when it first came out and made its way into PvP, but yeah, so Bungie's shown that they've had a lot of problems balancing things. So my main worry with this new patch is what's going to happen is they're going to buff other weapons, and we're going to wind up with the same thing all over again. It'll just be some different weapons, but there'll be 3 or 4 of them that'll be head and shoulders above the rest. Like, it's possible that Surf's Regime may come back up to the top and just be that dominant Crucible weapon. Hard Light seems like it's going to be pretty good this time around as well. But it's going to be interesting to see that in action, and I'm going to probably spend a whole week playing through all this before I make any videos about how I feel about PvP. So I'll probably do my video, like my review of just the Crucible in general, probably on Friday after I've had a couple days to just play with the new weapons and play with the Crucible and the new balance changes. And also I want to experience all these maps, and I want to play enough of Rift and Mayhem to get a good feel for them before I offer some commentary on those. But I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably at the very least do some gameplay videos on those with maybe not even any commentary. I'll just put some gameplay footage up so you guys can see what those game modes are like if you're not going to be taking part this week in the Crucible preview event. And then at the end of the week, I'll probably do just a comprehensive, commentary and review where I'll talk about how I feel about the new changes to PvP and how I like the new maps and the new game modes, and we'll go from there. So yeah, some interesting stuff with Destiny this week, and it's Taken King will be out next week on the 15th, and it's going to be, honestly, I think make it or break it for Destiny. We're going to see if it's going to change this game for the better and finally make it what we want it to be. I have my doubts, especially after all the stuff with Marty O'Donnell, with him winning his lawsuit and all the information that's coming out about that now. We're getting a much clearer picture of how much Activision has their hand in the cookie jar with Destiny, and how they're probably not going to ever let Destiny become that massive, huge content full game that we want to play. It's always going to be this grind fest that increases player time, and I just don't know. I think it's going to be their new, I think they probably want to change Destiny into another Call of Duty type title where they can just milk everybody every year for the exact same content and the exact same game over and over and over again. And as I've said many times, all the reveal trailers for Taken King, everything we've seen, all the reveal streams, I just don't see anything different. They're talking about all this new stuff and they're putting all this new content in the game. Court of Oryx, to me, quite honestly, is just a reskin Prison of Elders. It's the same thing all over again. You're just going to grind and grind as bosses and do the same thing over and over. The new strike they showed really didn't impress me that much. I didn't think it was too much of a departure from what we've already got in the game. And then, of course, they're talking about all this quest content, and I'm sure what's going to happen is a lot of that quest content is going to be repackaged year one stuff, and just new bounties are probably going to be just a similar vein of what we've already seen, just with different stuff to do. But it'll be interesting to see, though, at least. So I'm going to wait with bated breath to see what the Taken King reactions are on the 15th. What kind of reviews start coming out from some of the more reliable and respectable people out there. And it's just going to be very interesting to see what happens. But that's pretty much enough about Destiny for now. Like I said, you guys probably see a video from me Tuesday evening about the changes that are coming with patch 2.0, and then later in the week you'll see some stuff on PvP, because that's really what I'm mainly concerned with, because that's one of the last things I play in this game. Let's see, what else are we going to be working on this week? I'm going to be moving on to my solos on Mass Effect 3. We'll be working on the silver tier now. I did upload the Geth Juggernaut one the other day. I've got 4 more of those coming. I'm still trying to figure out which characters I'm going to use for those, but I'm going to try to get to that silver tier possibly this week, and maybe this weekend, and then we'll move on to do our 2 gold solos, and then I'll have that Lone Wolf achievement stuff all done and all taken care of. That's pretty much it for gaming right now, at least in terms of what I'm going to be doing this week. Moving on to some other stuff, just basic channel things. Let me know how you guys have been liking some of the latest videos, especially, like, for example, the Mass Effect solo videos. And even, I think one of the Destiny videos I did where I had some PvP footage in the back, because what I've started to do, actually, is my Elgato HD60 has really been quirky lately. I don't know what its problem is, but it seems like it just wants to have minor audio problems. Whenever I do try to do live commentary with it, it's like it'll just skip for 2 or 3 seconds and cut out the voice. So what I've actually been doing is when I can do a video where I'm just talking kind of like this, I've actually been going in and just recording the gameplay footage by itself, and then I'm going in later on after I render everything, and I'm actually adding a voiceover in while I'm watching the video on the screen. I'm actually just kind of talking over it. So from what I've seen and listened to them on personally, because I always review my videos before I post them, is it seems like my voice and everything sounds a lot clearer, and I'm able to adjust the individual volume levels for that too. So that's kind of the new approach I'm taking to this. I'm actually doing gameplay on one side, and then I'm coming in and doing a voiceover separately and adding it in later with some background music and some other stuff. So let me know if you guys have been liking that, if it sounds better, because I personally think that it does. I'll still be doing some live commentary over gaming and gameplay when I have to with the Elgato, but I'm just trying to avoid those audio problems, and it seems like I need to play with my settings there for a while. So not sure what happened with it. There was a software update to it about a week and a half ago, and ever since then it's been kind of having some problems. And they said that software update was actually to fix some audio sync issues, and it seems like it's just causing more. So I don't know. That's kind of the new approach I'm taking to this. I'm trying to use my video editing stuff a little bit more. And it's nothing major, guys. I just use Windows Movie Maker, which is free on your computer, and I'm still playing around with it, trying to feature it. I'm not someone who can afford all that fancy software and editing stuff. Maybe someday if I don't know, blow up on YouTube or something. But again, this is mostly just a hobby, and I'm learning how to use a lot of this new stuff. And every day is a learning experience with doing this, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of neat to just do this as a hobby, and I was really excited when I figured out how to put music and other things in my videos and show text on the screen and effects and things. So it's really kind of cool to just continue to play with stuff and figure out how it works. So been a lot of fun. But anyways, those are some of the things I've been working on in the background, sort of on the channel, just trying to get a little bit better sound quality in these videos. So hopefully it's working. Hopefully my voice sounds a little bit better and a little bit more clear. So that's pretty much it for that. Now moving on to the last little bit here, a little bit of real life chat for a little bit. As a lot of you guys know, in some of my real life rambles I've done in the past few weeks, I have been looking for work. I was actually laid off back in July, towards the end of July, let go from my company I was working for at the time. As I've told you guys before, I do contract work I do some real estate title. I do basically title searches on land for oil and gas companies in the energy sector. And unfortunately, the economy has taken a nosedive in the last couple of months where I'm currently living. And the energy sector has just gone way down the tubes, and the gas prices are really bad. No one's really doing anything now. Everybody's kind of shut down and slowing down their operations. So there's just really no work in the field that I'm in anymore, unfortunately. And a lot of the companies around here, there's been a lot of layoffs in the past few weeks by some of the major companies. They're really starting to, the area is really starting to finally feel it. I can tell even the apartment complex we live at here, it was a lot of people from Oklahoma and Texas who were up here for working in the industry. And people have been moving out left and right the last couple of weeks. So it's pretty clear it's not going to come back for a while. And even some of the big companies around here are talking about how they're not going to get back into operations until like 2017. So it's just not a great time right now, unfortunately, for my jobs and things like that. It is a cyclical kind of the energy is kind of a cyclical thing, and it kind of comes and goes. But so as I've said a couple of times, I may have to relocate to get to get back into working, and it would appear at this point I'm probably about 90% sure that I'm going to be moving here in the next couple of weeks. I cannot sit around. It's been almost 2 months now. I've been trying, and I don't want to get into savings and finances and all that stuff. It's just I don't want to have to start digging into that. And especially since I don't know if it's going to come back anytime soon. Like I said, they're talking about they're not going to be doing operations again until about 2017. There may be some work here and there between now and then, but I'm really not the kind of person who wants to sit around and wait that long, especially when I don't have anything to do right now. So I have been talking with a few people back down south, actually where I moved from when I came up here 5 years ago. So I'm probably going to be moving back down to Georgia and moving in with a family member down there who has a rather large place, and when we go down there, gonna have like our own floor and everything. So it would be a very good situation, very close to a lot of job opportunities that I have experience for, which is back in the property management industry and also doing some title work for real estate and mortgage companies and things like that. So I'm more than likely going to just go ahead and do that. So probably within the next few weeks, I'm going to give it about another week. And if I have a few leads right now where I'm at currently, but if I can't get anything concrete within the next week, probably actually it's funny by the 15th, which is when Taken King is coming out, but I'm probably going to make my decision right around the middle of the month. And that way that's good. That'll give me 2 more weeks at the end of the month to kind of move and get all my stuff together, because it's just going to be a big process. I'm going to have to drive a U-Haul down there. It's about a 10, 11 hour trip. And then I'm going to have to come back up here and get my car and get the cat, take everybody. We have to move with the animals. That's always fun. If you have pets, if you guys have had to move with a pet before, that can be quite a trying thing. But, we'll get it taken care of and do what we have to do. But that's pretty much the situation here. And so, of course, I'll keep you guys posted, but at the end of the month, if that goes through, then I may have to slow down a little bit on putting out videos and doing stuff on YouTube, because obviously I'm going to be packing up all my stuff and moving everything and just trying to keep things organized. Now, the good news is where I'm going, where I would be living, I'll have much better internet connection and much better setup for recording and things, because I'll have my own little spot in the basement. And it's a house and everything, so no neighbors to worry about when doing recording, having to be quiet and things like that. Might even be able to upgrade and go to an open mic finally. As I've said a couple times, I'm having to use a headset mic because I live in an apartment here and the walls here are paper thin. So number one, I can hear if I tried to use kind of a better quality microphone, and I get so much background noise just from the people downstairs, from my cat sometimes, and it's just really aggravating. So I have to kind of go with a noise canceling headset microphone just to make sure I don't get a whole lot of crap in the background. So it would be kind of nice with this new place. I might have just my own space, my own dedicated space where I can set up a room to kind of do this, because right now I'm just doing YouTube in my guest bedroom. I have like my gaming center in here, and but it's the guest bedroom, so it would be a little bit of an upgrade. So there's also a lot of positives that would come to moving. Obviously, one is going to be a much better job market. I've actually been in contact with a lot of my old contacts down in Georgia who are all, they're like, are you looking to come back? Are you free? We got plenty of opportunities. So I don't think I'd have much trouble getting back into the workforce down there. And like I said, much better situation the other two, living with family and for a little while at least to get back on my feet, and having my own space and everything, and just being convenient to a lot of cool stuff, a lot of good food and good restaurants, and lots of outdoor stuff to do. It's one of the problems with where I live now is just the area is. I live just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which I don't know, a lot of people might know Pittsburgh used to be a big steel city back in the 80s before all that stuff went overseas. And unfortunately, this place is kind of stuck in a time warp because they lost all the steel jobs and nothing really changed here for a long time. It's a very rundown, kind of old place. And then, of course, the energy sector hit it big time here with the oil and gas and everything with the Marcellus Shale. And that's what's really been developing over the last 7 or 8 years here. And their economy's finally picking back up. They're finally getting a lot of money in. They're finally upgrading and getting some nicer things here. But for the most part, this area is kind of stuck in a bit of a time warp. Where I've lived in the big city before, it's just kind of it's kind of funny seeing things like I remember. I think it was last year, or the year before. They finally got a Chipotle Mexican restaurant here, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chipotle. It's kind of like you go in and you order, and they make your burrito or whatever right there in front of you, and it's all fresh ingredients and chopped up and good meat and stuff, and usually a pretty good meal for fast food. But and I remember when they first got here, a bunch of my coworkers were like, "Oh my God, dude, have you eaten at Chipotle?" And I kind of gave them this odd look, and I'm like, "Yeah, we had that for like 5 years ago in the big city." So they're just a little behind here, and sometimes it gets aggravating. I do kind of miss living in the big city, having access to everything, especially cultural foods and things like that. I love Mexican food, and up here in the north, they just don't seem to know how to make it. I can't find it here anywhere. They do Italian pretty well around here, but I love my Mexican food, and I gotta have that. Just gotta have it, and all kinds of other things. The nice thing about the big city is just you don't even have to eat at a chain restaurant to get good food. There's always all these little local places you'll find and things like that. And that's another reason I love going to Chicago. Chicago is another one of my favorite cities, and I'd probably move there if it wasn't so freaking cold in the wintertime and so expensive to live. But right now we're gonna head back down to down to Georgia and see what happens. Like I said, it's about 90%, at this point. Sure, it's gonna have to happen. So again, as soon as I find anything out more concrete, I'll let you guys know for sure, and that way you keep you guys posted. The only other major thing going on right now, I remember it was about a week ago, I did the video about being adopted. And I did reach out to my adopted mother after I found all the information on. Now, it's been a little over a week. I have not heard anything back. So I'm pretty sure uh, she's just probably not comfortable with it. And that's totally cool. Like I mentioned in the video, I'm totally fine with that if she decides not to reach out back to me. But just wanted to put the information out there, let her know that I was out here. I'm out here somewhere and doing okay and doing pretty good. So maybe she just needs a little bit of time. We'll see. Like I said, no expectations on my end. I just wanted to put it out there, and you never know if you don't try. So we'll see if anything comes to that. But right now, I'm not expecting it. I don't think anything will happen. But that's just an update on that end. So that's pretty much going to do it for me, guys. It's getting kind of late here, so I need to get some sleep. I got to get up tomorrow and do a bunch of stuff. I got to still looking for jobs just in this area, just in case. You never know. Like I said, I'm gonna give it about another week, and then we gotta go get some boxes and start packing some stuff up. And also, we're taking a bunch of stuff to Goodwill and the thrift store to give away, because that's one of the things that comes when you have to start thinking about moving. Is you start looking at what you can get, not get rid of, but give away to somebody else that can use it. Some of your stuff, because it makes I hate moving. I've had to move. My family, my dad was in the oil and gas business his entire life, and we basically moved from state to state wherever the work was. So I've lived in like 13 different states. I've helped my family move probably like 20 times, and I'm just sick of moving. So when I have to move, it's like, what can I get rid of before I move? So, cutting down on the amount of stuff that I have to take with me. So that's what we're doing around here. Just kind of limiting what we're going to have to take going through clothes if we haven't worn it in 2 or 3 years, getting rid of it, shoes, any kind of sports equipment, any kind of furniture that's just sitting in the closet collecting dust. We just it's just going to get rid of it and lighten the load, so to speak, so we don't have to spend as much money on a big truck, because I'll be moving myself. I'll be carrying everything down the stairs, loading up the U-Haul, driving the U-Haul. So done it several times, got lots of experience with it. So we'll see what happens, guys. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, to say the least. But other than that, like I said, you can look forward. Like I said, I'll have some Destiny stuff, and we'll have a little bit of Mass Effect stuff here. I got to get back into doing some Halo Let's Plays at some point. Just kind of gotten off track with that series, but I may just try to play through Master Chief Collection before Halo 5 comes out. We'll see what happens. Right now, I'm kind of stuck on Mass Effect 3. I've just gotten back into playing the multiplayer a ton on this game, and it's just, I don't know, it's addictive in a good way. It's just a great game. I really love Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. It's just, you've got such a great community around it, and so many awesome people that play it and take part. So it's a lot of fun. Just so much variety. I don't know how to explain it, because it's just a horde mode, but it's there's so much variety in terms of your enemies and the different characters and builds you can use. So just a fun game overall, guys. If you haven't tried it, I definitely suggest giving Mass Effect 3's multiplayer a shot. But anyways, that's going to do it for me. I've been just rambling, which I guess is why we call this a Ramble video. Anyways, guys, I hope you all are having a great week. Feel free to comment down below. Let me know if you're going to be taking part in any of this Crucible preview for Taken King this week on Destiny. Let me know what you think of patch 2.0, and like I said, I'll have some videos out on that stuff you guys can look forward to later this week. Hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again next time.